How do you adjust for seller credits?
I go 100%. So if it's a $10,000 credit, it's $10,000 adjustment.
So if they were to match, if your property has a seller credit of $10,000 and the subject, or on the subject property, and the comp does not, you are raising that comp's value by 10 grand?
So your thought process is correct, but that never happens.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around. So if a comp has a seller credit, then we'll adjust that down.
Yeah, we don't ever adjust.
I've never seen an appraiser do it the way
I've
you're
never
talking
have
about.
either.
But in theory, you could.
But in theory,
You
you
could.
that,
You
right?
could, sure.
But in order to do that, you got to find a comp that has a similar concession.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah. And I think seller concessions are kind of, I mean, for me, I
now
don't
it's
see them.
gone.
Yeah, for now it's gone.
I don't see them as much, you know, they're not
saw
as
it
much
on
as
an
they're.
FHA deal the other day,
Yeah,
but-
not as much as they were, you know,
was like
2-3 years ago.
$5,000.
So.
We just recently had a transaction where the our value was easily $100,000 over anything else that was a cash deal. How do you guys look at that when you're looking at everything else in the neighborhood that sold for 700 and under, and you've got one that closed for 800?
Personally, I don't like to use comps like that because it's an atypical sale, right? You have an all-cash buyer. You know, obviously, I want to use something that has a loan or something attached to it. So I try not to use cash sales in my appraisals if I can. I mean, obviously, it's a comp, right? And if I have nothing else, I'm going to use it, but I might not use it. So every appraiser is different. So we have to have 3 closed sales, you know, and every report, most appraisers put 4 or 5 comps. I always put 6. So I might use that as like a comp 4 instead of a comp 1, 2, or 3. You know what I mean? Just so, right, yeah, so yeah.
We're supposed to talk about it, or say comp number 3 sold an all cash transaction and talk about how that affects the market and all that stuff. But right now it's like, who knows how it affects the market?
Right.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, a lot of the times those comps save the deal, right? Because it's like, oh, there's a comp. At least I got that, and so you can put that in there, you know. But you're supposed to not give it as much weight, that sort of thing.
Right.
But like, I guess I was a listing agent, if that wasn't our listing, and I was trying to comp out like, you know, the neighbor's house, getting ready to list that, it would be my job to call on the 800 closed sale cash and see, did you have tons of offers?
Yeah.
Did you have other, you know, what did you have?
Sure.
Yeah, why'd you choose the all cash one?
Right.
So that when I'm going down that road, I can hand that information and say, hey, these are all your comp.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
for
That
sure.
would totally help us out.
Great point, right?
Yeah.
Document that, put it in writing, give it to the appraisal, they'll put that in the report, and you're gonna give weight to that.
Yep.
We have facts now.
Do you guys tell if there is a cash deal, if they waive the appraisal or not, or things like that? You have no
We
idea.
have no idea. Not unless the listing agent
Most of the
calls
time,
and
if it's a cash deal, yeah, there's no appraisal. I mean, unless the buyer wants one, and that's usually outside of the lending, you know.
Yeah, well, I've seen that. I've seen that before, even when there was a lockdown and they got a waiver, but they still wanted an appraisal.
Sure.
Because there was some things done with the property, just wanted to
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep their own safe. And so I just didn't know, that would be something you could research, right, on the sale as an agent or something, if you want to use it as a comp or give you data,
Right.
that they can say, what happened here?
And sometimes, I mean, in the MLS remarks, if agents put stuff like that in the remarks, I mean, I don't know if you can, but it would be helpful to us to say, hey, look, you know, outside appraisal done, you know, whatever. And so then we're looking at that, you know, because we rely on, you know, you guys, and we're looking at the MLS, you know, we can only, you know, determine whatever's in the MLS is what we're analyzing.
That's it.
Yeah,
So there's going to be some digging outside
Sure.
of them
Yeah.
to figure out what's the backstory.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.